Hi, I'm Johnny. This is my video presentation for the AI practicum. The project I did is a Mahjong Game AI implementation. Mahjong is a traditional game that requires 4 players and 136 tiles. Each player holds 13 tiles and take turns, drawing from the deck and discarding tiles. The final goal is to get 14 tiles that consists of winning hand, usually in the form of 4 sets of 3 and a pair. These are the Mahjong tiles. There are 5 types. The first 3 types, bamboo, characters, and circles, have numbers from 1 to 9. And as I mentioned, we need 4 sets of 3, and these sets can be constructed by the following. The first one is a pong. Pong is 3 tiles of the same kind. And the second one is a chi. Chi is 3 consecutive tiles of the same type. And this is only for bamboos, characters, and circles, since winds and dragons do not have numbers. And gang is 4 tiles of the same kind. It's very similar to pong. And the actions that a player can take during the game. The first one is to draw and discard during his own turn. And during other player's turn, he can do the following. First, he can pong when he's holding 2 tiles of a pong set, and another player discards a third one. Or second, he can chi if his previous player discards a tile that can form a chi set for the player. And gang when um, the player is holding 3 tiles of the same kind and he draws the fourth one. Or if someone else discards the fourth one. And last is win. Win is when you finally get the winning hand. And if you draw the last tile yourself or someone else discards it, both would construct a win. And the way I implemented um, the Mahjong game is by creating the following classes. The first one is a player class that represents the actions that a player can make. It includes drawing, discarding, and melding. Melding is the term that includes chi, pong, and gang. And for the melding, I have 3 functions for each: check, do, and the action itself. Check would check if the player is able um, to do the action on the current tile. And do is whether or not the player wants to do the action. The manager class would manage all the players and the sequence. It would ask the player one by one whether or not he or she wants to do the action. And in the main class, I set up the flow of the game and initializes everything. The AI that I wrote for this project are the following. The first one is the random player. It never melts and it discards a random tile in hand. And the simple player, it always melts and discards the rightmost tile in hand. And the third one, the logic player, always melts, and for discarding, it calculates the score of each tile and then discard the one with the lowest score. I did not implement the BFS player. And now for the demo. For the demo, I set up just one game and a logic player and a simple player and 2 random players. This is basically just to show how the game would run and the flow itself. Okay, in the beginning, I print out the hand of all 4 players just to demonstrate. Of course, none of the players can see other people's hands. And player 0 starts and draws a tile and discards one. Then I print out um, the new hand that player 0 owns. And then the next would be player 1, player 2, and as following. And here you can see that here, player 1 choose 6 circle when player 0 discards. And this is just how the game would go on until either someone wins or the card deck runs out. The tile deck runs out. And in the end, player 0 wins. This is just one demonstration of just one game. And for the result, I run 10,000 games for each setup. Uh, the first one is playing the random player against 3 other random players. Of course, random players do not perform well, and simple player against 3 random players perform better, and logic player performs best. I also played a logic player against simple player, as I just demonstrated. Um, the logic player the logic player performs the best because it chooses which tile to discard, and it wins over half of the time when playing with random players. The performance of the random player is as bad as expected because it serves only as a baseline, and the simple player is better than the random player but not as good as the logic player. Um, in conclusion, I think the project implementation is pretty difficult because Mahjong is a multiplayer imperfect information game, meaning that um, the players do not get full information about the game. It only can one can only see his own hand and the tiles that are on the table. And I didn't have enough time to finish implementing the BFS player, but I expect um, it will perform better than the logic player. But it will also be very time consuming because the branch factor of the search tree will be very big. Another possible future extensions I want to do would be a learn player that use learning algorithms and train on experienced players' performance. And I expect it to uh, learn the pattern and perform pretty well. And this is all I have. Thank you for listening.